Hey guys, I hope that you guys are doing amazing wherever you are in the world. My name is Boom Shakha, and it is kind of dark here right now because it's raining, and you'll hear thunderstorm in the background. It's thunder and lightning claps, like thunder claps, like so loud that it just shook my apartment. It shook my house. That's how amazing is the stuff going on around me. Nature is absolutely amazing, right? So it is kind of dark. I hope it doesn't bother you guys too much. I really just wanted to do this video because I really wanted to share it with you. And sometimes the weather doesn't cooperate, and the lighting doesn't cooperate. But that's all. Nothing we can do about that. Okay, so what I'm going to speak about in this video is speaking patterns. And something that I've noticed about myself in the way I speak, and I think I've noticed that a lot of you have messaged me about this, saying that, you say this a lot, and I say this a lot too. And I was surprised that, because I did not realize there was an INFJ thing, but the more I thought about it, the more I analyzed it, as I always do, I realized, yeah, that makes sense. That's a reason why we do it. Okay? So you probably noticed this about me if you watched any of my videos, and if you have, thank you again for watching them. But if you've watched them, you know that I say this a lot. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Right, that makes sense, right? And so I didn't realize I'd do that until you guys pointed it out, and I went back to my videos and I realized, wow, I say that a lot. But there's a reason for it. So in my opinion, and this is just my opinion again, so I think INFJs, because we're so quiet normally, right? We never usually speak up. We try not to speak up because we're scared that, we're going to be judged, we're going to be rejected. Not only that, we're afraid people aren't going to understand us. Also, we're not really good at articulating our inner thoughts. I mean, in our head, it seems very, very logical, and then we speak and it's like, bleh. It doesn't make any sense, right? I am getting better at this. Sometimes I do these videos and I do that again. I'm like, oh my god, that didn't make any sense at all. But the more I do them, the better I'm getting at articulating myself, right? But I do notice that I'm always afraid because in the past I would say things that people would look at me like I was insane. And they're like, "What are you talking about, Boo? Are you insane? Like we were talking about this and you were talking about this. What are we doing here? Like you need to stay in this conversation cycle that we're in. Don't skip ahead to something else." But in my head, I was like, no, I wasn't skipping ahead. I was talking about exactly what you guys were talking about. I was just connecting the dots. So a lot of times in the past, I would say something in a group of people or to a person, and they wouldn't get what the hell I'm talking about, right? So over time, I mean, I was younger, and this happened to me a lot. So over time, I kind of developed these speaking patterns where I would say something, and I also repeat myself a lot. So I'll say something, and I'll repeat it again, the exact same thing in a different wording format, and I will repeat it again because I want to make sure that person understood, and I'll be staring at them to make sure that they understand, and then I'll say, "Does that make sense? Did it make sense? Did you understand what I was trying to get to you, or what I was trying to convey?" And I say this a lot because I want to make sure that they understand what I was trying to say, because not only in the past have people not understood me a lot, which happens a lot, even still people will look at me like, what are you talking about? But not only that, but I want to make sure that I am articulating myself properly. It's like the perfectionist streak in us, right? We want to ensure that what we're trying to convey to the person is actually getting through, that they're not just sitting there nodding along or wasting our time. Because we want to have a conversation, we want them to understand, and then we want them to comprehend, and then we want them to formulate a thought, and then we want them to talk to us about it, so we can have an exchange over it, so we can learn from them and they can learn from us. That's what we want. We don't want it just to be a one-sided conversation. And a lot of times, if we don't ask them if it makes sense, if we don't clarify things if it doesn't make sense, if we don't articulate that properly, then it'll just be a one-sided conversation. And I've had that happen to me, and I just give up at that point. I just don't want to talk to that person anymore because it's boring. I just don't want to be the only person speaking. Now, obviously, these videos are completely different, but I feel like I'm having a conversation with you guys because you comment on it, and then when you comment, I hear your comments in my head as I speak to myself. I do that a lot, and I feel like I'm having a conversation with you guys, and I love it because you teach me and I teach you, and that is the whole point of being an INFJ. I love that part of being an INFJ. We love teaching others, and also we love learning from others. That's what the whole point of conversations for us is. It's not about killing time. It's not about talking about the weather. It's not about, although I did talk about the weather because I love thunderstorms. In the jungle especially, they're so beautiful. But it's not about talking about inane, nonsensical topics. It's about teaching each other. You teach me about something that you're interested in. So if you're into anime, I might not be into it, but if you're passionate about it, if you talk about it with passion, I'll be mesmerized by you and I'll listen to it and I'll learn from you. Same thing for me. I might not be interested in anime, but I might be interested in INFJ stuff, and I will talk about it. And I hope that you will listen with the same amount of concentration that I gave to you. Right? So that's the whole point of conversations for us. That's the reason we're always making sure. Do you understand? Does that make sense? Do you understand? Does that make sense? So we're always asking that. And I ask you guys that a lot as well, I've noticed. So I'll say something, I'll be like, does that make sense? Did you guys get it? Like, I hope it made sense, you know? Because we're also always doubting ourselves. We're always thinking, oh, I'm such an idiot. No one's going to understand what the hell I'm talking about. Why am I even bothering? So that goes through my head a lot. Even now when I do these videos and I know that you guys get me, I still think to myself, what am I doing? I have no idea what I'm talking about. Why do I believe that I can do these videos, right? So self-doubt always creeps up into our head, and we're always thinking, did they understand? Am I even making sense? I have to make sure. Let me ask them. So we always ask, did that make sense? Yeah? Does that make sense? Okay, cool. So that's one of the speech patterns that we do, that we, as INFJs, we do a lot, right? But another thing that I've noticed for myself is repetition. Now, repetition is the key of learning, I think. And so for the longest time, I was told this, just repeat yourself over and over again and people will get it. But repeat yourself not in the same wording, repeat yourself using different words. So that's what I do. Sometimes I repeat myself 2 or 3 times, 3 or 4 times, because I'm afraid that the person in front of me is a little bit slow and they're not going to get what I'm talking about. So I'll say, so dinosaurs were extinct 30 years ago, or I'm just making up stuff here. Or, and then I'll be like, but did you know that 30 years ago dinosaurs got extinct, blah, blah, blah. And then so I'll repeat myself 2 or 3 times, saying the same thing over and over again to make sure that, first of all, the person is listening, because most people ignore or kind of get lost in their own thoughts are like they're just not even listening to you. So if you repeat yourself, maybe they'll listen to one of those phrases. So I'll repeat myself for that reason, but also because I want to make sure that maybe if the first iteration wasn't articulate enough, if I say it over and over again in different formats, then maybe one of those will be articulate enough to get my point across. That's my thinking in my head. So I notice I do that a lot as well nowadays. I'm trying not to do that anymore. I'm trying to do it less, but it's so ingrained into me. It's so natural to me for me to do that. So I have a really hard time catching myself and saying, okay, don't repeat yourself. People got it. They're not stupid. That's what I want to believe. I want to believe that people are not stupid, that I don't need to repeat myself, that they get it when I first say whatever I'm saying, right? I don't want to repeat myself. I hate repeating myself. I want to be surrounded by really, really brilliant individuals who I feel stupid around, so I don't have to repeat myself. They have to repeat themselves for me. But unfortunately, we don't live in the world like that, so that's okay. That's okay. So that's why we have all these random speech patterns that we've developed as INFJs to kind of cater to the world around us, to kind of make sure they understand what we're saying. They understand our kind of switches, because sometimes we switch from topic to topic, or we'll jump from here to there, but all of it makes sense to us in our head. But we're making sure, okay, did you catch up with me? Do you understand where I'm going? And the person in front of us might be like, I have no idea what you're talking about. And they'll be like, okay, we need to backtrack a little bit and be like, okay, this is where I came from. And they'll be like, okay, that makes sense now. Okay, then we'll jump ahead again and we'll see, okay, did you catch up again or are you lost? They're like, no, I'm still with you. Okay, good. Let's keep on going. And that's how we kind of keep on asking, does that make sense? Does that make sense? Okay, cool. Let me move forward to the next idea or thought. Okay, does that make sense? Yeah? Okay, cool. Let me move on forward kind of thing. No, that doesn't make sense. Okay, I'm going to move back a little bit and make you understand a little bit more again. That's basically how it goes in our head. And that's how it kind of perpetuates or looks like from the outside in. So if you're a non-INFJ talking to an INFJ, that's basically what they're doing, is trying to make sure that our random thought processes that are going on all over the place are kind of coherent enough that we can make sense to you guys, because we know sometimes we can be insane and you guys have no idea what we're talking about. Again, I hope this makes sense to you guys. I hope it does make sense. I hope I was able to articulate myself to you. I hope that I was able to make myself understood. And I'd love to hear from you guys. What are your speech patterns that you think are very much related to being an INFJ? What do you guys say often that you're like, oh God, I wish I didn't say it? Alright, I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. And if you guys have any questions at all, you can message me on any of the contact information things below. So I have my email on there, and or you can message me on Facebook or Instagram. Some people have been messaging me on Instagram. I don't go on there that often, so please message me on Facebook or email me. That's the best way to get a hold of me, okay? Thank you so much. Bye for now.